Temporary drugs. Do you need any drugs? Yeah. Like this. Since you're a late man, I'll take the big.
I'm but a wee boy.
A pretty nakedly ridiculous thing, right?
Yeah.
And in ways that that when I first saw it, it was like, oh, they got her, right? That was my first thought. It was like, because Liz is she's just like, I've thought of her as just kind of inept. She's not very good at campaigning. Right,
yeah.
It's like, but
she has bad political instincts.
Right, but she wouldn't be, bad, right? Or it's like whatever. She wouldn't be as bad as Biden. She wouldn't be as bad as Trump.
Policy-wise, she's better.
And but, right? My knee-jerk reaction was, they got her. They got to her, right? And it's very similar to when, Obama didn't close Guantanamo Bay, right? It was the same thing. I thought, like, well, they got him. They got him. He was saying some shit that sounded pretty good, right? But they got him, right? Now Bernie, I'm not worried about them getting Bernie because at the worst thing that's going to happen to Bernie is he's going to die, right?
Yeah.
And fuck if he gives a shit.
Getting him would be killing him, basically.
Right. And so it's not like I don't think Bernie will compromise in the sense that I don't think he cares. Like fucking, it's like, oh, well, we got a gun to your head and your family's head. Right? I guarantee you that Bernie Sanders has had more than one conversation with his wife being like, look, they might go after you too. And you better be cool with that because, like, they could kill us all, right? They could wipe out the Sanderses, right? But this is so important and we're going to do it, right? And, like, either he went, you're going to shut your fucking mouth and we're going to do it. Or he was like, now we don't have to do it. If you're worried about your life, right, then we don't have to do it, right? And he probably said that to, like, his son. I didn't know he had any kids.
He's got a big family.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that.
I saw a picture. There's not very many pictures of them, but there was a picture of them all on vacation. And it was, like, him, Jane, and, like, his 3 kids who are all, like, in their 40s or whatever.
Yeah.
And then all their kids. So there was like 3 or 4 little kids.
So there's little kids. So Bernie's a grandpa.
Yeah, he's got a
man. What a cool grandpa. All right.
Yeah. But so back to what you're saying about, like, they got her. Like, I think.
But hold on, wait. I wasn't finished.
Okay, go for it.
So that was my knee jerk. That was my first reaction. Was like, oh, somebody got to Liz.
Yeah.
And gee, that's too bad. But she wasn't gonna win anyway, so I don't care, right? And then. Somebody's like, yeah, this is going to take the heat off of Biden, which is bad for us and good for Biden, right? Anytime Biden's just shutting the fuck up and not saying anything and not being in the spotlight is good for Biden, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, oh, damn, right? Then the thing came out where Biden was like, yeah, I'm kind of like Hillary, but, I don't have that whole vagina problem, right? And it's like, oh, my God.
But nobody gives a shit
about it. But, oh, my God. Right. That for all the Bernie people who know that this is some snaky bullshit, right? those people, right, like, saw the Biden thing too. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the people that are following this and have the whatever the disease that or whatever, like the Chapo boys say, right? They have the vapors or whatever. Like, they saw the Biden thing too, which quadruples the amount of this is just an attack on Bernie, and there's not a sexist bone in his body, and if there is, I've never seen it, right, and never will.
Yeah.
But and so then, all right, so then after that, it was like, yeah, but no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit, right? Like, because if you think about it, right, so there's the people that have the disease. We're all watching very closely. We all love Bernie Sanders, or we have problems with everyone, and that includes Bernie Sanders, right? That's from the furthest end to the shallowest end of the people who are following this because we've been fascinated since Trump entered the race by the sheer dark carnival of the whole thing, right? Then there are the white wealthy feminists, right, who were in the tank for Warren and who hate Bernie anyway because they still buy the whole Bernie bro thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is, and let me be very clear about this, the internet. What they're talking about is the internet. It's the people on the internet. It's not. First of all, they're not bros. They're not bros in the way that an average person would think of what a bro is. They're not that. They're basement dwelling shit posters, right? And we're all a little chubby, right? And we're all antisocial, and we say mean shit.
Antisocial socialists.
Yeah. He'll suffer a libertarian, right? Like, Sam Cedar's whole thing is like, libertarians, call me, give it your best fucking shot, right? Like, and they all have the same arguments, and then somebody called in that was like, I'm starting to think that all of the libertarians are actually just the same guy calling in like 100 times.
So, oh man, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was at the state fair, and they had some different booths there from the different political parties.
God.
So I stopped by and talked to the Democrat one for a little bit, and then there was like the Republican one was on the other side, and they were like, "Sir, are you registered to vote?" And I just winked at them. I was like, "Don't know what that means," but I did walk by the Libertarian Party booth. It was just this one guy sitting there on a stool, surrounded by pamphlets, and no one was talking to him. And it was like a really busy time where there was people at every booth.
Yeah,
but no one was talking. Well, because he was like staring at the ceiling. It was just kind of funny.
They're annoying and they're idiots.
Well, it's like the kind of smarter conservative thing, sort of, but like the problem is that the country's so divided now. Like, all of the people who used to be like kind of more libertarian, they're just Trumpers now. Or a lot of them are anyways.
Or
you know what I mean?
They're insufferable.
They've like completely stopped caring about like the the debt, the national
Yeah,
debt
or
and things like that. And they're just like all in on Trump no matter what, regardless of their libertarian principles.
Well, right. No,
Exist.
it's the same thing. Like, it's like, this is the thing that's so stupid about them that I fucking hate. And that is also why, if you look, I don't think there's one libertarian that isn't a white man. Not one. Find me one, for God's sake. I mean, yeah, every now and then it's a black man, right? Or, I've seen a couple of black male libertarians. Find me one that's a woman. Anywhere. Ever. No, unless, whatever, she's lying to get some dick or whatever. But, like, I feel like that's a lot of conservative girls, too. It's like, they're just lying. They're lying to themselves. Because they...
Well, some of the religious ones.
I guess. But, I mean, sure, all right, if you are fine.
I work with a lot of conservative women. And they all love Jesus and would never even even think about having an abortion.
Well, but that if you don't want one,
no, I get
that's the. It's like
no, but I'm not going to sit there and fucking argue with them.
I just
it's not worth it. Man.
I can't. It's like I had a lot more to say about these things before, right? But I've literally been like just beating my head against the wall at how stupid, just fucking stupid everything is. Just how it's like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Like the guy, whatever now, the impeachment thing is like, there's a guy that literally like written on like a hotel fucking napkin is like, get lady from Ukraine, like make her go away. Like, it's like
stranger than fiction.
But the fact that the stupidest man in the world, as God live long and prosper, Matt Christman said, right? It's like literally the stupidest man in the world, right? That's his quote, is not being impeached for like the rest of the things.
Oh man.
Like this thing, the thing that no one cares about, and on top of that, the thing that's so fascinating about it is like how much evidence there is for that stupid as fuck thing that's like a guaranteed loser, right? Like
yeah.
After it was like, oh, okay, so she's being weaponized by the people who got her to help Joe Biden. Okay, fine. Then it was like, no, she's just the only one left, and and a lot of the people up top are like, Biden can't do it because he's an old ass man who's losing his mind, right? So they have to try to figure out who the next best thing is, but all the people that are also liked by the internet, which would be Yang and Gabbard, are not. No one knows who they are, right? And then and then the other candidates don't have a snowball's chance in hell of getting this nomination, right? Now, that brings me to Pete Buttigieg, who I need to talk about a little, okay?
Yes.
Because I can't fucking believe that guy, after all the shit that he says out loud, and after all the shit that the more conspiracy-minded among us think about him, right? Between those two things, I have institutional and rampant homophobia across this land, right? That sometimes it feels like it's going away, and then sometimes it very much feels like it's not.
Have
right?
you seen this?
That's great. And
Read the top though. Sorry, I was just showing him
Pete as white savior.
A meme of Pete as the white savior with a picture of him, looks like in Africa or something. That says the savior you people need.
Oh, I didn't notice the you people
The
too.
savior you people.
There you go. That's perfect. That's a.
Thanks to subreddit Dankleft for that one.
But the thing about never mind. This is for Pete and Klobuchar and all you other motherfuckers that are just getting in the way now. Like, and I feel like honestly now, I wish I had signed that thing that homeless guy came up to me with about Tom Steyer, because Tom Steyer could keep Bloomberg from doing anything, right? If there's just a ridiculous used car salesman billionaire that's just hanging around in the third seat, that's fucking not getting any questions and won't take any of the vote, great, let's do it. Him way before Bloomberg. Hell, fuck yeah. Because Bloomberg is more like Trump than Biden is. Like, I thought for a second, like, oh god, it's just going to be two, like, if Biden wins, the worst thing is going to be that it's two Trumps versus each other, right? And oh god, what a soul-deadening, horrible thing. No one will vote. It will be an election where it's literally 1% of the population votes, and they're all the Trump people, and that's it, right? No one else will vote. Not a single person. It will be the lowest turnout of any election ever.
Well, yeah, because they probably would just beat that Hunter Biden, corruption.
No, Trump would beat up on Biden from every angle now, right? If Biden had run instead of Hillary last time, he could have beat him more handily than Hillary did, right? And
I don't know. I really don't know if he would have, but
he would have.
I think he would have had a little bit better chance, mainly because he was much more attached to Obama as far as his image, whereas Hillary Clinton was much more attached to Bill Clinton and kind of like the old school kind of corrupt Democrats where
right.
You know what I mean?
And the last time I ever talk about Hillary Clinton will be now. Talked about it, because that was the other thing, is that I took the Washington Post as a political quiz or whatever, and it's like, what do you think about, it's like 20 questions or something like that, and it's like, what
is there an Amazon ad between each question?
No, or I don't know. Maybe, probably, but we're just an ad for a website, since Amazon is the internet. So yes, but right. when I took the quiz, right,
Yeah.
it was like for the first like couple of questions, and one where I was like, really, Bernie Sanders doesn't think that, right? I can't remember what the question was, so fuck if I'll ever remember, right? But it was like a thing where it was like the people who were, you'd click on the answer.
Oh, you know what? I took the same quiz. It was like a month ago.
Yeah,
So,
but it's like you click on, this one's updated, I think, or whatever. It was making the rounds again after the Warren thing.
Okay.
But, like it was like where you click on the answer and then the people's faces come up who said that same
I got
answer.
mostly Bernie, Warren, Yang, and Gabbard in all my answers. I think Biden popped up in a couple of them. You know, the agreed.
Yeah,
but Bernie was in most of them. There was like one that like I agreed with Yang and not Bernie, but I don't remember what it was. It wasn't like a main issue, you know.
The thing, all right, so anyway, the point is that for the first like 10 questions, Warren was ahead, right? And then was overtaken by Bernie towards the end of the quiz, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, it was either that they had the exact same, like it was like a tie between Bernie and Warren, or it was like Bernie had like one or two on Warren by the end, right? And then everybody else, it was like whatever, you know, like Yang, Gabbard, and the rest of them all had like about the same percentage of like Bernie and Warren were like way ahead, right? But and so it was like then I went back and looked, right, and was like, you know, I bet if anybody fucking asked Bernie Sanders about this is what he would say. But I bet the reason that his head doesn't pop up whenever this is asked or that or whichever one it was, right? I bet the reason that happens is because no one's ever fucking asked him, right? Like,
yeah, there was like some obscure questions. For there to be only like 10 questions, there was some weird issues that weren't like the main.
yeah,
You know, like.
Well, no, and they were worded in a way that's very, like, well, you could say this or like,
and also you can't necessarily take every candidate, you know, for their word, like
well, sure.
straight up, like
right.
You know, like Elizabeth Warren might have some kind of anti-war rhetoric or whatever, but do you really trust her to be like, you know, any more anti-war than Obama?
No,
I wouldn't expect that, even no matter what she said.
That's the other thing is that for literally all of them but Bernie, and for Bernie for the one reason that I just said, right? Never mind, two reasons, right? It's like Bernie has about the same experience as Biden, where like he's been in the Senate for a while, right? And so he gets the machinations of how to make shit happen in a very general sense, right? More so than any of the other ones. Because truth be told, the rest of them, right, other than Bernie and Biden, everyone else is like a deer in headlights, right? They're not going to do the thing that would beat Trump, right? Because they're not keyed into that shit. They don't know they're still looking at it where it's just like, if we just say that Trump is bad, then we can move on from the conversation and then not, you know what I mean, like not bring it up anymore, and because Trump's bad and everyone knows he's bad, right?
That's what we call the Klobuchar.
Sure.
If you watch, well, I don't know. I know you don't really like watching the debates, but she will bring up Trump in every answer. Like the question is asked about a certain issue,
right?
And she will say, "Well, you know what I'm not gonna do," and then she brings up Trump, and then she like talks about like reversing something Trump did, and then talks about how she can beat Trump because
again,
whatever she's from, whatever state she's from.
And this is coming from somebody who, and I'll make this very clear, I voted for Hillary Clinton because I've never in my life, and never in any other, maybe if I was alive in 1972, I would have voted for McGovern and thought like, yeah, I'm really doing something here, or whatever, like we're gonna change anything, right, or whatever, right? It's like, but in modern times, right, I probably, knowing myself and knowing the votes that I've already, like, whatever. I voted for Obama twice, and I voted for Hillary Clinton, right?
Did you vote in the primary?
No.
Okay. You voted for her against Trump.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? It's like, I don't know when the fucking primaries are. I guess now I do.
You'll know.
Yeah, I'll know this time. But up until that point, right? It's like, okay, I don't give a shit until they pick a person, right? I'm gonna close my eyes and wait until the Democrats just pick a person, or the Republicans pick a person, or whatever, and then I'm gonna vote against the Republican every time, because fuck the Republicans, right? They live in fantasy land, and I'm not cool with that, right? It's a very cut and dry thing for me, right? I'm going to vote for the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Because they're all evil. It's all evil. It's all evil, power, devil worship, lizard shit, right? It's all that, right? Even if it's not, to me, it's as far away from me as that is, right? As like a secret meeting of the, like, I started to understand that about conspiracy theories, where it's like, no, it's just that you have no idea what's going on, right? Because why would you? You're me, right? A guy on his couch that just watches the same TV as everybody else, right? Like, what do I fucking, I don't know. I don't know if there's intergalactic lizards that run everything, right? Why would I know that? Why would I be privy to that information? Political speak is because he has been speaking that political speak in a void, in a vacuum that no one can hear him in.
His version of political speak is literally just how he talks to, like, he goes to, like, you know, some, like, coffee shop and, like, to get, like, a bagel or whatever, and he's like, you know what?
You deserve healthcare.
You deserve healthcare, and you deserve to earn a living wage.
Well, what's your name?
Making these honest bagels, serving.
Yeah, what's your name, son?
Yeah, you know, like. And,
what are your problems?
Yeah, and
like, and then
like that's what he does
you.
on when he's not running for anything either. He just like randomly starts talking to people like about stuff like that.
Well, right.
But like, yeah, but like all these other people on stage, you hear, especially when back in the debates when there was like 15 people on stage, you would hear so many Obama impressions one after the other, and I will say I think the only one who really does it still is Pete Buttigieg. He's really bad at it, but somehow he's still, like, maybe he's better at it than I think he is.
No, he's not, because he has zero.
But Beto O'Rourke was trying to do it too. Cory Booker was kind of trying to do it. I heard it a little bit in Kamala, although it's harder for a woman to do an Obama impression. You know, they kind of have to do it a different way. But
well, yeah, no, see, this is never mind. This is one of the things I wrote down on my list very recently, because it's like it's a thank God, right? I don't know if you know who Nina Turner is.
Yes,
but thank God for her.
She's great.
Thank God for her. Because a religious black woman who speaks like a human as a politician.
A lot of people want her to be VP.
Oh God, that'd be so good. And of all the people, like, and see, this is the thing, right? It's like she seems to be kind of new at this, right? So,
she was a state senator in
Ohio.
Ohio, okay, yeah. But not. She's not currently. I think maybe she lost her election, or maybe I don't really know. Probably because
right, but it was like that was it. That she did that one thing, right? Yeah. And so
I'm pretty sure she's been like an organizer, activist type person for a long time.
And great, and you know, it's like if she were to be shoved into the spotlight by Bernie Sanders' death, which is something that I feel like Bernie better pick the absolutely best vice president person who would be his literal actual second in command for if something should go down, either just because he's 80 or whatever, however old he is, or because the state tries to kill him or kills him, right? Either way, like a lot of the people that would vote for one of the other candidates, that they're the only legit hesitation to voting for Bernie that I could possibly see is he's super old, right? And what happens when he dies, right? In the middle of or in the beginning of the second term or whatever, right? His VP better be ready as fuck, right? And be younger than him, and be, it's like, it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Like, and he should be very strategic about that readiness, right? Instead of, like, it's like, and people are saying this because I think I think deep down they're trying to sink him, right? Kitten. There might be a fight or whatever, kitty squabble.
Hey, kitty.
Kitten.
Come here.
I don't want my cat's voice on the internet.
We will manipulate it.
But oh yeah, she's gonna smell you now.
I smell like my cats.
Yep, time. But anyway, so whoa, there was too many things that I was saying all at one time.
You're talking about Bernie picking the solid VP.
Yeah, and like,
I've heard some names floated.
Like, anyway, or no, never mind. I was talking about Nina Turner, and thank God for Nina Turner.